All right, guys. MAXPAX on the top right side. It's the PiGosaur semifinals up against PERCIVAL. PERCIVAL's very good in this matchup. I think if this was TVZ and I thought about like their normal levels, I'd be like, oh, MAXPAX smashes him kind of thing. You know, like obviously if MAXPAX was playing Zerg at the level he plays PvT. But I actually think PERCIVAL, because this is probably his best matchup, has a pretty good shot here. His TVT and TVP are incredible. Even his TVZ's been evolving quite a lot as well. So I'm really curious to see how they match up. Now, this is Old Republic to start a gigantic map, which I think favors Protoss pretty hard because of the size of it, but it kind of depends on the style you both play, right? It is hard to defend your spread out bases, but I think if the Protoss is confident going for something like Phoenix Zealot, something a bit more mobile, or a Heavy Zealot Stalker style, maybe a Double Forge style, they can get in a really good spot. And I also... like, whilst technically, yes, Terran can turtle to late game, and then Terran late game is very good. MAXPAX doesn't have too many plays he has that are effective against it. I think it's very hard to get there. I think when you're looking at anyone that's not Clem, getting to the late game against Protoss is incredibly difficult, because it's kind of funny, right? Because I've talked a lot about how TVP has big issues right now, and the biggest one you see reflected in the games, because we cast so much Clem, is Terran dominating late game. But I always do mention a lot, but because people don't see it, it doesn't click in their brains that Protoss is also quite favored in the mid game and can run away with the game very hard there. So I really feel like one of the big issues we often run into is we just look at Clem dominating late game, and it's like, dude, even Clem gets mauled 3-0 in some of those early mid game scenarios, those late mid game scenarios. Oh, I like this Marine movement. It's a trap. He's gonna Akbar him. Admiral Akbar. Yeah, but good reaction speed from MAXPAX. Doesn't take any real damage, and he's fine. Dude, what is this? Marine's trying to pull back. Sorry, I was saying what is this about the lag. Why is it lagging? Stop lagging, bro. All right, I'm going to stop recording. I'll just grab this off Twitch, see if that's the issue. Some weird PC issues recently. Sorry about that, guys. I might swap back to full screen mode. I thought full screen StarCraft is having issues for certain hardware setups recently, so I've just been doing windowed mode just to try and avoid that, but it might be making things worse. Adept's going to go south. Incredibly quick third gate nexus off of a second gateway. Very good build order. Very streamlined build order. It's going to be a 2 mine drop into 3 barrack setup. Adept's going to shade over. Alright, I mean, I like that he got away with no bunker, no Reaper. I think Reaper's pretty bad on such a big map. Yeah, he's completely blind about what he's playing against, so he sneaks an SCV out. MAXPAX sees it, though. But he's not going to be able to deny the scouting unless he moves the Stalkers over there right now, which would be very risky. Because, yeah, maybe you deny the scouting, but then you're out of position for the mine drop. The Adept does go in and die. There's a Liberator and a tank coming in behind as well. Oh, PERCIVAL, no third barracks just yet. He's actually beelining the aggression. SCV's going to die before he can see the third Nexus, which does hurt. And the Medevac's going to find 3 Stalkers, which means he should not commit. He should turn around. Oh my gosh, he goes for it anyway. Absolute mad lad. I always feel like committing with the mine drop is crazy, but I've heard people say if you don't commit, you just die to Dark Templar or random things. You kind of need to get the scout off, so you kind of need to commit, but I always feel like waiting and going in a bit later might be the better call. But you know what? Fair bit of mining time, keeps the medevac alive, sees the finished third base. It is a very effective scout. And Marine tank moving across, single medevac building, Stims on the way, sells his bunker. He has an engineering bay building as well, but no third barracks. It's a 2 barracks Marine tank push. Third barrack starts behind, and it's go time. If you could catch a few Stalkers on the map, this could be effective. Problem is these rocks mean it's really hard to get on the high ground. I think those Stalkers, the Observer will see him. First of all, if he can scan the Observer, would be huge. Don't think he sees it, though. Already a couple of Marines getting picked off, though. MAXPAX has a lot of room to work, and just chasing into the Stalkers, usually not the most effective. Another tank is being lifted forwards. Another Marine goes down. Is that 3? 6 Marines have gone down so far. There's 2 Adepts and a Stalker. One of those Stalkers did go down to the Liberator by the looks of it. Liberator came in that main base. It's now rotating over to the third, keeping MAXPAX very busy. This is, of course, the old school build where you're meant to have the mine drop still active at this stage as well to make it really hard for MAXPAX to defend, but PERCIVAL just wasn't able to get everything up at once. Tank Marine is here. The Marines have stim as well. Charge is not quite ready, but it will be momentarily. Tanks are sieging in the middle of the fight, which means the Marines mostly go down before the fight really starts. There's so few units to guard. I think Percival just has to go home. And wisely, he does pick up and boosts away. Very good play there for Percival. At least he keeps MAXPAX busy, does delay the Forge, but nonetheless, MAXPAX is going to 7 gateways. He's got Robo Bay about to come down off of 3 gas. Definitely needs a 4th gas. He's going to take a 4th gas. And of course, Percy, with no 3rd command center, has decided to pick violence. He's going to go for another Liberator. 4th and 5th barracks. He's going to try and go all in. MAXPAX. Observer gets scanned. But Percival doesn't kill the Observer, which is really bad for him. He's trying to limit the vision of MAXPAX. You can tell MAXPAX got good spread of units out there. And as long as he just makes non-stop Zealot Stalkers, slows the push down with Stalkers, and then gets 1 or 2 Colossus out, I think it's going to be really hard for Percival to get across such a big map. I do think this is a great map for MAXPAX, so I don't think there's any shame in Percival losing here. And does finally get rid of the Observer. I think he's trying to hide a push, but it almost seems so sus. Oh, he just killed the Urubu. Look at him. Percival knew he's in a bad spot in this game. So he basically just cursed himself to try and give himself plausible. He's like, no, well, it was the Urubu curse. That's why I lost. Actually, is it an Urubu or a Lyot? It might have been a Lyot on this map. Unless this map has both critters. Either way, you kill a dog, that's pretty evil, man. It's like a goat dog or something. Nice Zealot counterattack here for Maximus. Colossus isn't here just yet. SCVs are going to bait the first charge. Good micro for Percival, pulling those SCVs back. Tanks are sieging. Unfortunately, he's losing everything back at home, but the Marines will finally clean that up. Tanks are sieging on the front. The Libs are going to get sieged as well. I don't know if you can engage into this Lib tank line. 4 siege tanks? No combat shields for these Marines, but who needs them if you've got Libs and tanks this far forward? Feels really tough for MAXPAX to defend right now. Big Zealot flank, though. Those 2 tanks in the back go down very fast. These 2 tanks still in the middle of sieging, which is such a problem. But Immortal and Colossus go down. Percival making this one incredibly dicey. CV pull really paying off here. And if Percival can just gather up his units at home and then reinforce and join forces, he's got MAXPAX on 2 base against 2 base. But the tanks are unsieged. Careful, the tanks are unsieged. MAXPAX, can he get rid of them now? Oh, the Zealot's kind of disjointed, though, from the Stalkers. And what's he really getting? 1 tank kill, 1 or 2 Marines, 1 or 2 SCVs. But a lot of Zealots go down in the Liberator. Very slowly putting a timer on that Warp Prism. Uh-oh. The other Colossus out. The Marine's getting toasted. But, oh, the Colossus goes down. There's only 1 tank left now. The Stalkers coming in from both sides. There's a reinforcement almost here for Percival. The SCVs try to keep the tank alive. The Zealot barely takes care of it. The Marauders take care of the Stalkers. He picks up and saves some of these units, but there's a Liberator versus no anti-air. A new tank, a Packer Bio arrives, and Percival, I told you guys he's really good right now. He was not in a good spot in this game. MAXPAX had defended well enough to have a very solid lead, but Percival has found a way to clutch victory from the jaws of defeat. An impressive play for our Korean Terran player. Might be down 20 workers, but I think with the tank and the Lib there, he holds this easy. Yeah, with the Colossus going down, actually the tank did fall surprisingly. There's just no units. MAXPAX falls. Ooh, Fuyo. Percival, more like Uncle Percival. What a legend, man. Absolute. That was, this map is so hard to win when MAXPAX has that much room to see his push coming. GG. All right, guys, MAXPAX in the top left side of the map. Percival in the bottom right side, taking game 1. Winter Madness going to be a map I think he's a bit more comfortable with. MAXPAX actually goes for a just standard gate scout. Doesn't check for proxies or anything. Oh man, this is really surprising. Percival taking not only map 1, but doing it in that fashion. Very impressive. Obviously, you can't SCV pull every game. MAXPAX has more often than not gone Storm recently. I do think Storm's a bit better against those builds than Colossus, but depends. Uh-oh. Oh, SCV's in trouble. He's going to lose it. Oh, barely gets off in time. There's 2 more SCVs, 1 to fight, 1 to finish the barracks. And it does look like a 1-Rex expand here. Percival chasing that probe away now. Usually they get minerals about 137 to build the Nexus, so MAXPAX is going to start blocking about now. Try and delay this a couple seconds. But of course, as his hit points run out, he needs to get out of there. And he will leave. Just a small delay for that command center. It feels like, without a ton of support, Colossus blow up real fast before they can have a major impact. Without extended thermal lance, and yeah, without room to stutter step. The whole point of Colossus is that they can kite the enemy army. So the problem is if they're already sieged up with tanks and libs that you're fighting into, the whole advantage of the Colossus having 9 range against the 6 range Marauders, the 5 range Marines is completely gone. Whereas if he's got that Colossus out and he's engaging out here, and he's got room to stutter step back, that's a different story. So the Colossus' strength is its ability to stutter step over friendly units, up and down cliffs, as well as just having a range advantage. It didn't have the range upgrade, didn't have the space, was fighting into siege units. And also you do, obviously, if it's heavy Marauder, for instance, Colossus don't do that well against heavy Marauder unless you have like 3 Colossus with +2 against +1 armor Marauders, and then suddenly you're like, oh, these Marauders actually die pretty quickly now because we've got 3 all shooting the same target, right? Whereas just 1 is not going to do that much. So Colossus is very uninspiring when it's put in a bad situation like that. And I think Colossus is still a very good style, but Percival's push specifically was really good. MAXPAX maybe could have given his third up and counterattacked a lot harder with even more zealots. Like, he might have been able to do a bit more of a give up the third and just pull back and kind of really avoid the engagement for longer. Because if you're 3 base against a 2 base guy that's also pulled, you know, 60% of his workers, 70% of his workers into the fight, there's not really any urgency on engaging into that. So often when you lose to that, you kind of realize after, oh, I could have given up the third and bought a bit more time. Quick third again here. Same build order as last game. Interesting. MAXPAX trying a bit more greed here. We do have Marines out of the reactor, Hellions and Medivacs building as well. Looks like he'll probably do a Marine drop in the main and then try to run 3 Hellions in the natural. It's one of my favorite builds, but... Oh, he's only... Yeah, he's got 3 Hellions. He's repaired the damaged one up. Phoenix doesn't see the Medivacs and doesn't see the Hellions. Oh, you're kidding me. So MAXPAX doesn't know what's happening. Oh, he might just drop here with the Medivac and then run the Hellions into the main. That's another way of doing it. Thanks, Dot. Marines are going to try and drop in the Natty. Hellions trying to go up in there. Marines doing what they can. Hellion Reaper fighting as best they can. Okay. If the Hellions can get 1 or 2 big volleys off. One more shot. Does get 4 SCVs. But loses 3 Marines. The Hellion almost gets another shot off. Only 4 probe kills. That's good defense. 3-to-1 trading. And you've got a quick third up. That's why I always prefer the Marine drop in the main, is just to create 2 different areas. But I think MAXPAX build is so tight, it's just hard to make damage happen there anyway. Tight building placement, good, good unit placement, I should say, near where he needed them. And now he can afford to go a Forge, get some Observers. Blinkstalker's still out there. There's a Liberator coming in behind. Percival's been big on Liberators today. It does slow down your next step, though. It's a nice, like, cheap, accessible unit. At low levels, I think the Liberator is no-brainer. One of the best units you can build as a low to mid-level Terran. They just go siege it on the edge of their base because it's so disruptive. But for very little cost. But at this level, MAXPAX level players, especially if you keep building Liberators, you're going to get better and better at defending. And Pylons have such insane sight. They see it coming so early. And that gives you a lot of time to respond to this. But he's kind of looking at the front right now. Marine tank push coming forward again. Stalkers blink up from the 3rd base to the high ground. Should have focused the probes there. Yeah, don't focus the Stalkers because they can always dodge. So he does waste 1 shot on the Stalker, but 6 probes, still not bad. Oh, you guys in chat were confused about mochi and matcha? Yeah, very different things. Everyone loves mochi. Mochi is just rice made into that really nice, chewy, textured kind of dough. Matcha, I'm also not the biggest fan of matcha. I think matcha is overrated. Matcha, for me, if a white person tells me they love matcha, then I'm like, ah, yeah. How are those loafers with no socks going? How many flannels you got in your friggin' in your wardrobe, eh? You know, like, yeah. What indie films have you watched recently? You friggin' try hard. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure some people love it, but it is a bit of a hipster tell, right? If you're actually like from an East Asian place, maybe I can justify it a bit more, but I don't know. It's okay. It's never bad. I've just had a lot of ones where I'm kind of shrug my shoulders and go, yeah, that's okay. You know, stop getting so hype over. It's like people getting excited about kale. They're like, it's going to give me superpowers because it has some vitamins in it. You're like, really? Really, guys? Anyways, Marine Marauder Viking now building. So he's gone 5 medevacs into Vikings to help deal with the Colossus. MAXPAX double Zealot run by, but the bio's ready for it. Concussive is almost finished, not quite. Units lost tab's a bit closer to even now. I love matcha, and I was big into tea for the last 20 years. Well, you are a hipster. Tea's fantastic. I love tea. There's just much better teas than a good chai is gonna destroy a matcha any day, man. Good volley there. Stalkers take big damage. 3 Marauders and a Widow Mine. That's a pretty good defense squad. Second Forge is already on the way for MAXPAX. I love how promptly he's doing that. A couple of Zealots do go down for just 3 SCVs. Good trade for Percy. Oh, but Percy can't fight into the Colossus, I don't think. He's going to shove... Oh, he's got 3 tanks, actually. If the tanks could get a volley on the Colossus, maybe. Really decisive push for Percival. I would be so afraid of the Guardian Shield and the Colossus in here with how marine-heavy your army is. Oh, he's going to try and re-siege. Can he hold position? The Marines pull back behind the Marauders. Oh, but I think MAXPAX pounced at the perfect time. Caught him in the middle of the siege and minces that army right up. Oh, hot damn. Sorry, guys. After the talk about the matchup, we've just found out that about 80% of my Twitch chat apparently have man buns and are wearing loafers with no socks right now. So, cool. Just... good to realize what your audience is after you out them and talk smack on them. MAXPAX should be able to push in here even without a forward prism. Gonna see if he can defend. EMP does land on the Colossus. The SCVs have to get pulled, but into Zealot Colossus, they ain't gonna do much. And MAXPAX swiftly answers Percival's Game 1 comeback with a decisive Game 2 victory. Alright guys, MAXPAX in the bottom right side, Percival in the top left. And that was pretty good for MAXPAX. Is he going to play 2-gate blink every game now? He might feel this just counters the way Percival plays, because we've seen basically Percival has tried to do some variation of early drop pressure into Liberator into Marine tank push 2 games in a row. MAXPAX has done 2-gate blink into fast third 2 games in a row. And I would say MAXPAX opening has been successful both times. So I'd say the pressure is much more on Percival now to show us something different. He should have just placed that off location, I think. I think delaying it that long, I think he should have just placed it there, lift it, land it. It only loses you like 5 seconds lifting and landing it anyway. It's not that bad. Cybercore before Nexus, or is that... Guys, did he go Nexus before Cybercore? Oh my god. He's evolving. MAXPAX. Oh my god, he actually varies his opening occasionally sometimes. A bit greedy. I love this. On this map, Reaper's really weak. We already saw Percival didn't like Reaper in game 1. Reaper's really weak here because you've walled off this ledge. And like, what's he going to do? Just run in the front? So it's not a good map for Reaper. Percival's also not favoring Reaper openings. So going Nexus before core is a no-brainer against this style of play. Thank you, Epic Chavez, for the Prime Gaming sub. Appreciate you, mate. Everyone needs a bit more Epic Chavez in their life. Second gateway coming in. So looks like the same build. It's all about when he goes to take that third. Ah, Robo before third base. He might be thinking it might be a Banshee build. He's like, you might go Banshee. Let's make sure I get an early Observer out. My friend is definitely a hipster. He has middle trimmed beard, clothing is like 1950s style, etc. Nice. He even says he's a hipster. It's 100% confirmed. Nice. 4-gate blink, 4-gate blink, 4-gate blink alert. Ladies and gentlemen, Percival, a 4-gate blink is about to hit the Terran. Oh my gosh, he's going for a 3 mine drop. Oh no, he's been the attacker this whole time. He needs to become a defender. The Adept might see the medevac move out. Oh, he's gonna see it. He's gonna see it. The Adept says, "Hello, Mr. Medevac." He's sending Marines forward as well, so he's gonna try and walk the Marines in the natural while the Widow Mine drop goes in the main, or he could pivot and drop the Widow Mines there kind of thing while the Marines walk in, making it really hard for the probes to evacuate to the main base. That would actually be genius here. Oh, 3 Stalkers already on it. I don't know. You take a lot of damage, man. The Marines on the natural getting deflected. Oh, he gets rid of 1 Stalker, but only 1. The medevac doesn't really have anywhere to hide there. Medevac's going to go down here on 10,000 feet. The Stalkers, 1 of them goes down in the natural, but that was for like 5 Marines, man. And this is 6 Marines, I think? 7 Marines in medevac and 3 Widow Mines for only 4 probes. MAXPAX has decided to let that one survive. He's like, tell your friends! Oh, he's going back for it. It's gonna recharge. Oh, I thought it was gonna recharge, and then because it would be invisible, the projectile would miss. 4 Stalkers gonna go in the main. Oh, good quick repair for Percival though. Auto turret and repair saving the day. One of the Stalkers goes down. Another one deep in the red. Good save. Probably want to finish repairing that bad boy though. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you probably want to. At least Percival knows it's 4-gate blink. He's got double bunker. Got a tank on the Natty as well. Very safe tank positioning. Ultra conservative, but finally repairs the main. He's got to leave the rally point on the main as well, I think. Ready to defend. The Stalkers are just going to go for it. Doesn't matter how safe you place it. You will lose a tank. And a bunker. Holy moly. Trying to swap the SCVs out of the bunker and the Marines into it. Then they got 3 Marines inside right now. Stalker count's so good, and he can just pull back the damaged Stalkers from the front with the Warp Prism and the Blink Micro. 5 workers go down behind this 3rd base coming up. 4 worker advantage for Protoss. Forge and Sentries will be next. Raven with an auto turret does take care of the Observer. Well done. Oh, good Marine count. He can actually push this back pretty quickly. Only loses 2 Marines there. Could have been much worse. New tank arrives, and it's of course non-stop tank production for Percival, just trying to stall out these Stalkers and stay alive for now. His tank even safer on the positioning this time. Yeah, for those who don't know, Percival's a bit of a hipster in Korea, actually. He has long hair, which is very rare in Korea for a man. Marines gonna have to pull back there. Gets a Stalker kill at least. Not too much. That was pretty good defense. But yeah, Percival actually plays on a CRT monitor with a old QSEN mouse and keyboard from 1999, so pretty cool guy. Auto turret's going to focus fire the probes. Gets 1. Doesn't quite get the 2nd. Raven's going to make a getaway. Or at least try to. I think if MAXPAX just clicks a Stalker to here, that Raven doesn't get home. Yeah, that Raven doesn't get home. No, I'm kidding. He's not playing on a CRT, guys. If you have ever watched some of the old Korean StarCraft 1 players, though, they do play with pretty funny setups. Oh, that's enough Stalkers to fight this, I think. They are very damaged. Oh, he blinks in! Oh, I think the Observer saw him move out with the drop, but he didn't expect it to be unloaded there. Oh, mistake, man! Yes, he gets rid of 2 medevacs, but he loses a lot of Stalkers for it. Units lost there pretty even. No, like, isn't it the Korean StarCraft 1 streamers, they'd play, and the StarCraft 1 was, like, windowed to, like, this size on their modern monitor, so that it looked the same as what it used to look? Do they still do that? Because I remember tuning into a StarCraft 1 Korean streamer, and literally his StarCraft was filling up this much of his screen. And I was like, what am I witnessing? They're like, yeah, he does that so it's the same as it was 25 years ago. I'm like, what? He's playing in like windowed mode 480 res or something, and I'm like, what? This is insanity. I don't know if anyone still does that, but I was losing my shiz watching that. Marine tank moving forward. Stalkers have done a good job of buying time, but there's no Colossus out once again. Honestly, this is not a bad candidate of a game for an SCV pool. The Colossus isn't here. PERCIVAL actually killed so many Stalkers. Oh, good Zealot run by. The Marines were all in the main. They can kind of defend from the high ground, but if he goes to the low ground, he knows the Prism picks up and goes to the high ground, so... Oh, so many SCVs going down. Okay, finally does defend that. It's quite a lot of Zealots, and he's got 2 sentries for Guardian Shield and stuff as well. Tank Bio coming forward. Oh, here we go. He's going to pick up the tanks and run. PERCIVAL's taking big economic damage, so he's going to be in turtle mode for the next few minutes waiting for Ghost to come up. And MAXPAX has got the Twister getting ready. I don't think those Widow Mines can get him. I think he's got plenty of dead space. Yeah, he can fly over the ocean here. Is that really an ocean, Pig? It's more of a lock, isn't it? It looks a bit like a lock. Zealots dropping inside the main base. Welcome to Zealot Town, sir. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Well, I think it's the Terran SCV line that's going to be getting messed up. Oh my gosh. Huge Zealot charge here. Colossus is going to clean the SCVs. The tanks do focus the Colossus, but Mass Zealot warping in is natural at the same time. The Colossus deep in the red. Prism barely surviving. This Prism is just edging those Marines. Oh, so irritating. So irritating. Finally, the Prism goes down with the Zealot to recall. MAXPAX is on 72 worker 4 base. This is brutal, man. The way he keeps working this. PERCIVAL's always got the main ledge covered. This natural is a really good drop angle. Some people argue the 4-3 ratio has less details, less distractions. It's better for your focus when you're playing. Nice. Viking takes some damage. Pig, what race do you main? Your mom. I got in her main last night. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Nah, I rotate races. Most of the last few months have been more Zerg than the others. It's been a while since I mained Terran for any significant period of time. But we still play a fair mix of random and whatnot. But Zerg is definitely my best race at the moment. Okay, unfollowing. Nice. But if you unfollow, you know that's all I want as a streamer is I need attention. You unfollow? Oh no. 12 workers do go down. I don't think he cares. He's still at 63. This is a last ditch push, but he gets the tanks in a good spot. I think canceling's a good choice. But if MAXPAX can get Zealot flank on these tanks, he should be able to rinse this army. But the Prism gets caught by the Vikings. Nice catch. +1 armor's not quite ready. He's going to be ready. He's chrono. He's waiting for +1 armor. He wants it so badly. Gets rid of 2 Vikings before the fight starts, which is good. Couple of EMPs go down very early. Here's that Zealot flank we were talking about. Comes in around a corner, not the best execution. The Stalkers also blink in and kind of get owned, but the Vikings are going down too quickly. They don't kill a single Colossus. It's a desperation drop here, kind of threatening a drop just to try to buy himself time, but PERCIVAL's way too far behind. MAXPAX. He's got his finger on the pulse of this game, and I think PERCIVAL's going to be doing a desperate all-in in Game 4. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I have a feeling PERCIVAL's going to do something crazy. All right, guys, PERCIVAL top right side of the map, and he's going up against MAXPAX, who's gone core before Nexus this time. You can see the Nexus only 35 seconds built, while the Adept's already halfway done. Cybercore takes 36 seconds, which is how we tell that. Now, they actually both thought it was a best of 3. Instantly, PERCIVAL logged off after that last game. MAXPAX instantly put in the results. And luckily, Bulmy Olja, who's also live casting this over on his channel, was like, did you guys forget it's a best of 5? I just saw someone put the results in on the challenge bracket instantly. Instantly, MAXPAX was like, oh, sorry, we forgot. And I was like, every single week. Because we changed it to best of 5 like 6 months, a year ago. It was a long time ago. And it's always this. But look at this. He's trapping him. PERCIVAL says, welcome to my concussive shell. Taste my marauder. And he is going to... Kills 1 SCV, right? Yeah, he gets 1 SCV for an Adept. At least he gets something. This Adept, of course, is going to try and shade past. It's actually a third Marauder building as well. It was a pretty big commitment. I hate the Marauder opening. This is part of it. It's still hard to defend your SCVs, and usually a shield battery defends this trivially. Funnily enough, MAXPAX is trying to skimp on the shield battery and just defend with gateway units. He may end up losing a bunch of units as a result of that. It looks like these guys are just going to try and catch the Adept. The Adept actually recalled home. I think if the Marauders continued, they could have gone in and killed a few probes. Maybe a Stalker or two. But yeah, because you just don't know how many units are going to be ready for you. Warp-ins are going to come in. It makes sense for you to not really want to push it. It is a 3-racks behind this, double tech lab. Stim and shields on the way as well. All off just 2 gases for now. Second gas, how quick was it? It just started mining. These things start with 2250 gas. He's only mined 50 of it so far. Third gas goes down as well as a bunker. Percival is, of course, down about 10 workers now, so those 2 SCVs dying do actually make a decent impact this early on. What were the percentages, guys, on the predictions? I imagine people are going like 85% MAXPAX here, maybe more. 77% MAXPAX, says Vajazzle. Okay. Yeah, people think Percival might be able to steal out of the map here. I used to love 3-racks. The top players are so good against it. But if I'm playing like a 5.2 or below Protoss, I still think 3-racks is a really good build. There's like, it's so funny, and that's how StarCraft works. There's these builds that are so good, and then you just hit this certain level where everyone has so many games of experience knowing how to pick it apart, where it's just really hard. I think this is a good choice, though. He can stim in and kill a ton of probes later on when they're fighting on the map. So now he knows the Stalkers are on the map. He's like, okay. And you can try to even stim on these guys at the same time, so he's distracted. Because if Stim Marines get to a mineral line without you seeing them ahead of time, oh my lord, it's so hard to stop. Good reaction speed by MAXPAX. So easy to lose, like 20 probes there. Instead, he's going to lose, what, 8? Only 8? That could have been so much worse. Mining time as well, of course. Shift click some of these bad boys. 10 probes. Still good damage, very good damage for that number of Marines. 8 Marines for 10 probes is massive. Stalker drop comes in. There is a double bunker here. I don't actually know if you need double bunker. Like, I guess it is 4-gate blink, but it's with a pretty well-timed third base. MAXPAX never really overcommits to his 4-gate blink, does he? Three barracks coming up. Tank production is here. Going 3 barracks into heavy tank production is rare. I never go tanks after a 3 racks. It's probably a smart response to 4-gate blink, though. Just a bit of insurance. Since it's very hard with Stim Bio to deal with blink stalkers until medevacs are out. A lot more stalkers coming forwards from the defensive side. Catches the observer. Immediately unsieges and starts moving out. MAXPAX knows about this, though. He's going to go in with a 4 Zealot drop. And look at this awkward little drippy droppy. They're going to just fly past each other. I think the medevacs may have seen the prism. He may have pulled back because of that. Not sure who has longer sight range, guys. Warp prism or medevac? I think a medevac might have one higher sight range. Oh, he got a marauder there. Nicely done by Max. Hasn't lost any stalkers yet. Storm is on the way. And he's got 2 High Templar gathering energy. See, there's a few Marines in the main that deflect the prism. Prism's going to go around that, go towards the rally point. Oh, if he finds a tank, that would be really nice. Gets a medevac on the front with the Stalkers. Finds another Marauder. Siege tank taking big damage. I mean, it's not free. He does trade a lot of Zealots for that, but I still think this is pretty good play by MAXPAX, especially if it buys him time for Storm to get ready. He's got probes out there. Observers see that the tanks are going home. Oh, so good. Dude, the Warp Prism is just one of the most ridiculous things. It's so powerful. It's such a, like... The Warp Prism is one of those things in how it's used that distinguishes the great Protoss players from the good. It really is, right? It's such a big threat represented by it, but the top players are very good at knowing when to commit with it, when to pull away, how to dance to the high ground, low ground to force a big overcommitment to defense. And then if they see that the Terran or Zerg is reacting that way and kind of respecting it, And they go, cool, you're respecting it. No worries. We don't need to commit. I can back off now. Whereas a lesser player overcommits and gets in big trubs. Warp Prism chilling in the natural. Oh, he lands a storm. Another big storms, and the tank siege in storm range, which means they both die. Oh, at least one does. I guess not both, just one. Can the Vikings stop the warp in? Yes, they can. Nicely done. 2 zealots on the left will finally get cleaned up. But Percival took some big storms on his bio. Has to pull back to heal up, repair his tanks. And that means second Robo Bay transition off of 6 gas is coming in now. I was reading a YouTube comment the other day, or this morning actually, and they were saying, you know, oh, Classic's so good in PvT because he knows rush to 6 gas. Don't just sit on 3 or 4 gases for 10 minutes smashing Zealot Stalker Colossus into the opponent, you know? Actually build more tech. And I think MAXPAX is also clued onto this fact, but he loves to open Storm. And off of Storm openings, the transition into Colossus, which is a similar thing that Classic does, right? They both kind of do the same style at the moment. Executed in their own flavor. It is a very good way. You still need to commit to an attack in that early late game with Colossus Storm. Don't let the Terran just turtle to late game, but it's a very potent style. And as we've seen, Classic is an expert at getting like 10 High Templar completely full on energy to the point where even Clem can't EMP them all. Percival, I still think of as more as a mid-game pushing Terran, which against a lesser Protoss works, but as we can see, MAXPAX is so good at surviving, and part of me wonders if there'd be a bit more pressure on MAXPAX if he was afraid of Percival's late game, which he doesn't seem to be. EMP only hits a single Zealot. Good SCV pull away. Biggest mistake I see players make is fighting with their SCVs against Zealots. I think it's because you see pros do it quite often when they just want to simplify a situation. Like here, he just wants to block those Zealots. And he's got medevac healing, so he's not going to lose many. It's an okay call, but Prism does go down to the Vikings. Single Stalker's going to get a Viking, is he? The Marauders are like, oi! Stalker does go down. But yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes you just see people fight with like 2 Marines and 20 SCVs in the open against 6 Zealots, and it's like, that's not a situation you want to fight into, man. Double eBay Armory is only now coming down. Percival's really not set up for a late game. And we've already got 8 gases. Now, that being said, MAXPAX is wasting a lot of time by going 8 gas. I think that's a bit more than you should be doing. But 8 High Templar, 4 Colossus is going to be his push timing. He's got Viagra about to kick in as well. It's going to give him extra firm Colossus with long reach. 4 more gateways to go to 12 gates. Yeah, and as these Colossus pop, it's go time. You're going to see his whole army move out now. MAXPAX should be going. But Percival's done a good job of splitting, which makes it hard for MAXPAX to find the engagement that he needs. Percival slips by him. Dude, those armies barely crossing paths with each other. Well, not quite crossing paths, I should say. Moving past each other. Past the paths. Bio takes out the Zealots on that side. We are seeing a bit of a recall to the left. Meanwhile, Zealot Stalker going to try to defend. Not even sure what he recalled. Just a few High Templar and Archons, it looks like. As a sort of drop defense squad. Stalker Colossus dancing on the right side. Percival's bought himself some time. Will he be able to catch up with 2-2? That would help. He's only got 1 starport. He's got 8 Vikings, though. If he can get to like 12 Vikings, probably better against this Colossus count. Pig, where's Parting when we need him? Dude, Parting would be cannon rushing Terrans and like proxy oracling them. Oh, he's sick. Good storm. Percival, though, runs through, eats the High Templar, runs back out. Good EMPs as well. Oh, big storms, though. Colossus goes down. Gets another good volley off at least, but those storms, pretty good damage on the Vikings over time. Storm on the left gets EMP'd. Storm on the right lands on the bio. Percival's doing a really good job of microing this, but storms are landing. The Viking count, the Viking count, the Viking count's almost gone, and there's still 3 Colossus in the air. Percival did pretty good job against the rest of the ground army, but I think the 3 Colossus still being alive. Then again, there's so many Reddit point Vikings, they just aren't dying. Only 1 Colossus left standing. Percival needs to get out of here, I think. He's a little outnumbered, and the Zealot Warpins are what'll tilt this against him. Gets an Archon on the way out, kiting some Zealots. He's already used the medevac boost. He's got to run away. He's got to run away. He's got to run. Run, away from you. For those who don't know, the was that 1990s? Japanese Ronald McDonald song. Actual nightmare fuel. I think for Japanese people, it was the opposite. You know, in the West, it's, hey kids, if you're good, we'll take you to McDonald's. In Japan, it was, if you're naughty and don't get good grades, Ronald McDonald's going to sneak into your bedroom at night and murder you. Like, proper the clown from It energy. He was frightening, man. Actual nightmare fuel. Tank sieges up behind the planetary. Zealot Stalker, Colossus Archon coming in. Yeah, Japanese Pennywise. He sells burgers to give you all heart disease. He's playing the long game. Zealots coming on the left side. They're going to get rid of the siege tank, which is pretty damn nice. That is an open orbital on that side. Percival responds pretty quickly, but his Vikings moving away. He needs the Vikings on the front. Good EMPs and good skirmishing. Guys, Percival's micro, I feel like he should have been worn down. This is a 5 base going on 6 base Protoss. 12 gateways. 15 gateways even. 3-3 though has only just started. 2-2's finished for Percival. But Percival is outnumbered, and the reproduction capabilities right now, you got to realize that MAXPAX can reproduce so fast. But 3 storms, watch out! 3 Eye Templar full on energy. Percival chases into the storms, and a lot of bio takes big damage. That might be irrecoverable, because if MAXPAX can reinforce and keep fighting, this could be awkward. I do love the tank behind the rocks in the planetary, though. A defensive anchor. That may be Sergeant Chadhammer herself. She's going to move left to cover across the rocks a bit more. 3-3s on the way, ship weapons as well. One more Colossus building. It's MAXPAX's style is not really evolving to another step, so there is a bit of pressure on him to maybe get Zealots in the main or something, or find an angle. Like, he's got to keep trading. As long as he keeps trading with some urgency, this could work. You can see, like, these guys aren't repaired. I think Percival, quick, pull over a few SCVs, repair those Vikings would be really helpful. And, oh, command center in the open. I mean, there's not that many Stalkers. I don't think it dies. And the Vikings actually take out a Colossus really early. Good counterattack as well. Oh, this could be really good for Percival, actually. This Colossus has already gone down. MAXPAX thinking about recalling, but the Nexus gets EMP'd, so it can't recall. Beautiful move for Percival. Ghosts on the high ground, lands some nice EMPs all over the High Templar. I think there's only 1 storm left in there. Vikings flying forwards. It is the bio army's kind of outnumbered, though. It's not that big a bio army. But Percival's counterattack is doing really big damage. Good micro, though. Really good micro for Maximus. The energy recharges, gets insta EMP'd. The moment that energy recharge goes down, Zealot's tearing up the 3rd. Natural's in jeopardy. Base over here is going to get recalled to Percival. Oh, God. Run, Roo. Dirty Protoss has recalled on top of you. Zealots are in the natty as well. Zealots in the 3rd. Too many SCVs going down. I thought this was going to be good for Percival, but it's always so hard to manage these situations, because once those Zealots get in and they find an open mineral line, it's so drastic how they fall. It's really hard to react in time, because you've got to put a lot of attention on your EMPs, your stutter step. And that's when Terran wishes they had kind of a Zealot A-movie unit that they could, like, a Roach, a Zealot, you know, maybe even a Zergling, something they could just send somewhere and not look at it and expect it to do its job. But Stim Bio without micro is a little bit like it's a little bit like recruiting a whole bunch of Forrest Gumps into your army. They're all just going to stand around looking at each other with no idea what to do. You really need to micromanage each one and tell them what to do. And that's kind of Marines and Marauders, man. They are not independently well-executed units. They need stutter step. They need a lot of micro. They're good at assembling rifles, and if you give them good direction, they're basically the best units in the game. They can reload, reassemble a rifle faster than anybody else. They can run faster or further than anybody else. Stim Bio is basically the best unit comp in StarCraft 2, as long as you give them the right orders. But that's really hard to do. Not when there's 3 things going on at once, 4 things going on at once. Storm does go down. Vikings take a lot of damage. Bio gonna get jumped on, and I think he's just outnumbered. Vikings out of position. Percival with a pretty good angle. Amazing EMPs. The Storm's landing all over his own Archons. MAXPAX kind of just stepped into a concave of EMP. Viking Percival drops his trousers, unholsters his EMP, and says, "What do you think of that bad boy? That's not too spaghetti thin, is it?" And Percival has to go full Juice Bigelow on his ass and take him to Pound Town. We've got Bio lib sieging on the left. Vikings going to the right to try and catch this Colossus. He will find it. That's actually really cute that he gets that. Oh, no, he won't. The Stalker and the Archon do manage to take that down. Storm does land on the Bio. Dude, if Percival wins this game, that'll be very impressive. I think no matter what, he's earned my respect. It's so hard to play these later stages of the game. I know Clem sometimes makes it look almost simple, but it really is difficult. Clem's also got a knack of getting to the late game in a better position than I think Percival really was in any of these games. Because, you know, Clem. But Percival really fought hard, very efficient multitasking, micro, and yeah, just able to make this a very competitive game. The supply is still dangerously close. Economy, I think, is still good enough for Max. Actually, not really. If he lost this base on the left, he'd kind of be screwed. Army right now, only 3 Vikings against 2 Colossus. It's good ghost count, though. Gonna siege the lib a bit far back. Ooh, first EMPs kind of land, but gotta watch out for the High Templar. Oh, rallying Colossus. Hello. One ghost does go down to the Colossus beam. Feedback landing as well. Another ghost falling. But the Bio takes out a few of these valuable units. The Liberator's going to help out a lot now. The Archons start to poke into it. But you got to watch out for those lib shots, man. They are deadly. The Vikings go down. It's just Bio and 1 lib now. And I think the Colossus Stalker Zealot just enough to push through. 3-3 against 3-3. But Percival is really, I think, shown... I've been saying Percival's getting really good for a while. I get that, you know, I say that and people go, oh, overhyped or whatever, but I didn't think he'd do this well against MAXPAX. In terms of, like, this is one of the most stressful, difficult stages of PvT. Max has been very active with Prism, Zealot counters, splitting up his attention. He's made it very difficult for Percival, and Percival is kind of, I would say, passed those tests with flying colors, you know, very, very almost Clem level execution. I just think Clem's a bit better at getting to the late game in a better spot than him. So, good multitasking for Percy, man. Good multitasking. Does end up losing, but no shame in that against MAXPAX. Arguably the best PvT player in the world. Marine Ghost Marauder hanging out. They get rid of the Zealots. 50 workers to 80, dude. MAXPAX economy. Now that these bases are back up, this one and this one, now he can make unlimited units, and now it's just unfair. At this point, Percival has nothing he can do. I do love that Chadham is still there. Somehow she's only got 5 kills. I guess shooting Zealots all day, she only does like, what, 30, 40 damage a shot. Not as much as you'd like. Way more against the armored units. Percival still landing nice EMPs. Oh, big storm. Beautiful storms. The best storms. The great Protoss storms. Making Protoss great again. MAXPAX just dropping stormy storms. Time to have a shower, you dirty Terran. Get in the bath. Oh, another forced bath time for those guys. Damn. MAXPAX all over this game, man. It's got a bit too much money. These Zealots even trading okay on that side. And look at that. Storms all over. Colossus taking out the planetary with the Stalkers. And Percival has to throw in the towel. But MAXPAX had to work for it, and that was very good play for Percival. MAXPAX, though, too good at the end of the day. GG, well played.